Hey, so let's see how we can take a colour scheme from the colour scheme designer and then implement it across Photoshop, or at least set Photoshop up so that we can implement it. When you choose a colour in the colour scheme designer, in the top right corner it actually shows you the colours it's chose. I'm just going to choose one that I quite like to start with. Here we go. So if you hover over these colours, it actually gives you the colour information which you can input into Photoshop. The first thing we'll need to do is write that down. So get a notepad or get Notepad open and let's put this in. So we've got FF3900, we've got FF6B40, we've got FF9273, and finally we got 00B454. Now if you get magazines with colour schemes in, sometimes it gives you them straight away, or you sometimes get websites that do it as well, so that makes it a bit easier. Open Photoshop up, and the first thing we want to do is we want to get the shape tool. It's vector based, we just want a rectangle, and we're just going to zoom out on our canvas a little bit and draw a rectangle. Now I want 4 rectangles that are exactly the same size, so I'm just going to duplicate this and move it, and then grab both layers and duplicate them and move them over again, so that then I've got 4 squares. Now with the vector shapes, if you double click on the colour section on the left of the layer, you can open up the colour box, which has just happened to pop up on my other monitor. So let's drag that back into view so we can see it. So let's turn off that other monitor. Down at the bottom here I can actually input the code by the hash. So I go to my notepad file, I copy the information, and then I paste it into that box, and straight away it's giving me the orange. Let's open up the next one and copy and paste that information again, and we're going to do this for the remaining remaining 2 boxes. So let's copy that over. At the point where I should really have a blue Peter is one I prepared earlier, but I'm sadly not that well prepared. It'll give you a chance to have a go at the same time as well. So let's copy all those across, hit enter, and then check that I copied them down right. So I should have an orange, a slight shade between the orange and the pink and the green. In Photoshop, there you go, I've got those 4 colours. Now I'm going to select those 4 layers and drag them into the folder icon so I can put them in a folder, and I'm just going to call that folder scheme. I can turn that on and off at any time, but the beautiful thing that I can do now, if I select a paintbrush and I start painting, it's going to be in whatever colour this palette tells it it's going to be. If I click on that, however, I can choose any colour that's on anywhere in my canvas. So at that point I can go and click through my 4 boxes and choose a colour that's in my colour scheme, and at that point I can then create an image. Well, I'm going to create really bad painting that fits with my colour scheme. Now as long as I don't choose any other colours other than what's in this colour scheme, then I'm fitting within the colour scheme. Another little trick I'm going to show you right now, with that colour selector tool, if I wanted to add a drop shadow, I don't know whether I can do it, I'm on the background layer, let's duplicate that layer. If I want to add a drop shadow to what I've just made, let's get rid of the white first, again, not really prepared for this. If I want to add a drop shadow, it's come up on my other monitor, let's drag that back across again. Okay, I click on drop shadow, I choose the colour that I want the drop shadow to be. I need to be able to see those 4 boxes. Choose the colour that I want the drop shadow to be, and I can go straight over to the boxes and choose that colour again and still work with it within the theme that I'm doing. Put that on normal, spread the distance. So straight away I can keep my drop shadows, I can keep any effects within that colour theme that I'm working with. Now you could go even more advanced and use profiles, but for the duration of the length of the course I've got to teach you guys Photoshop. I haven't really got time to go through all that. But that is the quickest way of how to implement a colour scheme from the colour scheme designer directly into Photoshop.